Hi everyone, this is Chantay, aka Shantizi, on Twitter and Instagram, or just Chantay Berry. So I'm here with the after show of hashtag Chantay's Analysis. So I just did a live on my Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter because I'll put that video up later, or Instagram, or just simply Chantay Berry on YouTube. Well, actually, I'm going to put it on my YouTube. I put a clip on my Twitter feed, and you could check out the whole video on Instagram, and I will put it on my YouTube page. But my YouTube name is just Chantay Berry. It's my full name. So I'm here with some coronavirus numbers from the Johns Hopkins website and from the New York Times COVID map. So please, you can subscribe to the New York Times COVID map. It's only free for COVID. And that's the same thing for the Washington Post, whatever you decide to choose. And for the Johns Hopkins website, you can always check online. You can always check online on coronavirus.jhu.edu. So according to the Johns Hopkins University in Medicine, global confirmed cases is 57,495,631. The death toll around the world is 1,371,241. Yikes. The U.S. confirmed cases here at home is at 11,908,395. The death toll is 254,383. And as of today, the USA has seen new rising COVID infections, 187,833. So again, new COVID infections here at home was at 187,833 new cases. That's a lot. Almost 190, almost 200,000 new cases. Like, that's insane. And yet we have no goddamn national strategy. And I lost hope. We're never going to have one. Not under this current administration, but the incoming administration, because there is an incoming administration, we will have one. Other countries like India seeing 9 million, Brazil seeing 6 million, France is seeing 2.1, Russia is seeing 2 million, Spain is seeing 1.5 million, UK seeing 1.4 million, Argentina and Italy is at 1.3 million. So that's what they're seeing. And Colombia is at 1.2, and Mexico just reached the million mark. So that's what's going on in terms of COVID. So that's what we're dealing with. That's what's going on. But here at home, because that's important for the USA, if you want the world numbers, you can always go to my Instagram page, because I do the world numbers on my Instagram page. So in New York Times COVID map, we have Texas at 1.1. So they're 1,151,640, followed by California at 1,095,147. Florida is at 923,410. Illinois is at 635,823. New York has 589,605. Georgia is at 424,763. Wisconsin is at 365,190. Ohio is at 335,423. North Carolina is at 229,867. Tennessee is at 282. Michigan is rising at 320,621. Pennsylvania has 301,373. And New Jersey, I think, bumped down to like damn near 15. Number 15 in the highest cases of 299,182. Yeah. The USA, most of the states here probably have over 100,000 cases of COVID-19. And like I said, we have no national strategy. DONJr today caught COVID-19. It was confirmed by Washington Post, along with Andrew Giuliani, which is Rudy Giuliani's son, who was the assistant to Donald Trump, and Senator Rick Scott of Florida, the junior senator of Florida. Yeah. I'm calling it Republican COVID, because most of the elected officials that had COVID were mostly Republicans. A little bit of Democrats here and there, but mostly Republicans. Why? Because they deny COVID. It's a new Democratic hoax, as Donald Trump said. It's going away by April. Oh, you don't need the mask. Our liberty. We need our liberty. It's like slavery, which, why are you comparing wearing the mask to slavery? That's racist as fuck. It's our liberty. And yet, a couple of Republican congressmen, Louis Gohmert had it. Who first had it as a Republican was Rand Paul, and still proceeds to not wear a mask. Then all at the same time, yes, they're ignorant. And then all at the same time, who had COVID? Donald Trump, his wife, Senators Mike Lee, Ron Portman, Tom Tillis. Now Chuck Grassley, who was 87 years old, had COVID. Hopefully he can survive because he is old. Chris Christie, the slimiest governor of New Jersey, had it. Let's see who else. That's a Republican at it. As a plethora of some Trump aides, Republican appointees had COVID, and now it's his son. We will never get rid of this virus, and the reason why, because Donald Trump polarized this virus and politicizes health crisis that any leader should not politicize. The whole mask wearing thing is to protect so the droplets won't go to the next person, to the people that we love and adore. But obviously, Donald Trump thinks it's okay to spew his hot ass breath on everyone, which his breath stinks. And I'm making this face because he looked like he stink. He looked like he don't put no deodorant on. But who am I to say? Not being judgmental. But he polarized this country to the point where they don't want to wear their mask. And he's making it harder for the incoming administration, because like I said, it's going to be an incoming administration coming in to do all the work that they got to do over. But Joe Biden is so calm, even though everyone was like, why Joe Biden is so calm? Why Joe Biden is so calm? Joe Biden is calm because he knows how to deal with a crisis. After all, he was a vice president for 8 years. He dealt with 2 pandemics that could have been worldwide. That could have killed the whole entire nation and world, but it didn't. H1N1 has some casualties. Not as much casualties as this. And Ebola only had 2 American casualties. So I don't understand why Donald Trump couldn't get the test kits from the World Health Organization when they offered him at a price. A reasonable price. Said no. So that's why Joe Biden is so cool, calm, and collected. Even Kamala, cool, calm, and collected. So some of these progressives, don't worry. They're fine. They got this. We got the right people. We elected the right people. We did. It's fine. It's okay. But, yeah. This is what we're dealing with. But, as I said, this peaceful transfer of power for the Biden and Harris administration ain't happening. Biden and Harris administration, that's why they're so cool and calm, because they know what kind of jackass Donald Trump is and has been. And Mitch McConnell is going to make shit hard for him. That's fine. Even though Joe Biden wants to hope to work with these Republicans at a point in time, I don't think there's no reasoning with them. I don't even think you should remain talking and being friends with them. Casualty, honestly, tell you, especially with Lindsey Graham, because Lindsey Graham sold John McCain out friendship and him too. And who needs to be expelled from the Senate is Ron Johnson. Besides Lindsey Graham, Ron Johnson needs to be expelled from the Senate. And the reason why is because he led this whole rabbit hole about Hunter Biden's emails. Hunter Biden, did this. Hunter Biden was corrupt, and the whole Senate intel report was like, no, he wasn't. So Ron Johnson needs to be expelled from the Senate. He actually should not even run in 2022. Because he's up for re-election in 2022. I'm just saying. But, yeah, girl. I'm talking to girls, and I got men watching me. Good God. But, yeah. Joe Biden needs to just have a plan to put out executive orders. Because as long as Mitch McConnell is in there, it's going to be rat infested. And that's another thing, the reason why we need to keep our eyes on this Georgia Senate race, because it's crucial. Because if they win, the Senate will be split. And it will be 50-50, while Kamala Harris will be the deciding vote of it all. Mitch McConnell's trying to spend money out there, and Democrats, you get our shit together. Focus on Georgia. We need to focus on Georgia. Focus on getting them Senate races, because down ballot races was always forever important. Top of the ticket is good, but we always need control of the legislative branch and the judicial. Yep. Joe Biden is in a very difficult spot. He's in a very, very, very difficult spot when it comes to the Senate. Mostly. The House is no issue. It's the Senate is the issue, because Mitch McConnell is still there. Kentuckians really did not vote for the better of their state. And their state is like last in almost everything near Mississippi. And yet they still vote this asshole in here. But it is true. But he don't have to be their friend. He got to do business with them. He don't got to be their friend, because after the way they exploit Hunter, it was very disgraceful and it was very disgusting. You don't do that to a former politician, especially a former politician of Joe Biden's stature. And Mitch McConnell knows better. More than any of those GOP senators. He knows better. Him and Chuck Grassley know better. And when you don't speak out, you are complicit as fuck. And I tell you that much. But I also wanted to touch base on this. These unemployment numbers are really alarming. And I'm just going to read them, because I read them on my Instagram Live. And it shows how COVID is also a financial burden, or in my financial terms, because I have a degree in business and concentrated on accounting implications, financial implications. So unemployment rate is at 6.9 overall. But if you break it down into numbers, into terms, white people are at 6% unemployment rate, while African Americans is 10.8%. Hispanic is at 8.8%, and Asian American Pacific Islander is at 7.6%. So there's a big disconnect. There's systemic racism within our employment system. So when Black Lives Matter, it's just not about criminal justice. It's about employment. It's about economics. It's about affordable housing. It's about education. It's about everything. Climate change. It's about a whole plethora of issues. So these unemployment numbers are crazy. And yes, new jobs were created, but it was not created for everyone. And most jobs have recalled their employees back to the office or back to the site, wherever they are, but doesn't mean that they will be there for long, because some of them will be unemployed again. And people are going to lose their unemployment benefits by next month, because Mitch McConnell decides to adjourn the Senate until November 30th without negotiating a coronavirus relief package, and has no plans to. So I don't understand why Kentucky will vote that piece of shit in, as I said. And that's the situation that we're dealing with right now. So when Biden and Harris comes in, if they ever get briefed, good grief, which I don't know how that's going to go, they're going to have a lot of work to do on their hands. And it's going to take the two branches of the two legislative bodies to work with the executive branch. It goes hand in hand. That's why we have three branches of government. You can't run to the judicial branch for every fucking thing. Donald Trump tried to do that, and you see it didn't work. But you have to, they got to work together. Mitch McConnell got to put that partisan bullshit aside. He's almost 80 years old. First of all, him and Chuck Grassley, and even some on the Democratic side, like Patrick Leahy and Dianne Feinstein, got no fucking business still in their seat. Even Bernie, 79. Well, who am I to say something? They're there, and I can't say anything. But I will say this. Pass some fucking relief. Yeah, and a lot of people lost their jobs this year. I know I temped earlier this year before the pandemic, and I was about to get another job, and this happened, and I haven't worked since. But I was very lucky to pay my rent without any help from my parents. I was very lucky to even save money during this pandemic. I was very, very lucky. And there probably do need to be some term limits too. Definitely term limits. And speaking of the new blood in Congress, now I consider myself as a pragmatic progressive. I do vote pragmatically, but I am for progressive issues. What I am not for is stupidity. And I got to call it for what it is. I got to be honest with myself. So most of these progressives this week, thank you. Most of these progressives this week, more so the ones that are the lighter shade, and some are their black generals. Some that's on that crazy train. Proceeds to protest the incoming administration instead of protesting the current administration and the current Senate Majority Leader. You protest the incoming administration because of cabinet picks from news reports. Some that's not even accurate. Biden, be brave. Are we seriously doing this shit? Like I talked about it yesterday, but I had to speak on it again because it irritated me this whole entire fucking week. It literally irritated me. Y'all getting mad over possible cabinet picks? Joe Biden can't even pick a cabinet because he hasn't been fucking briefed, nor him or Kamala. And the only reason why Kamala knows certain things because Kamala sits on the Senate Intel Committee, and she still can't relay half of the shit to Joe Biden. Why she can't relate the shit to Joe Biden? Because Joe Biden has not been briefed. Because Donald Trump does not want to brief the incoming administration because he still thinks that he's going to serve a second term, and his weird sadistic fucking mind that he was going to serve a second term, and he's not. He lost. Joe Biden just didn't win the Electoral College. He won the popular vote by fucking 80 million and still counting. So I don't understand. Hey, Derek, I don't understand why these progressives, I don't understand why they're protesting the incoming administration over possible cabinet picks when Joe Biden can't even fully go there to pick a cabinet when he hasn't been briefed on the information that's going on. And you went to the White House to protest when he's still in Delaware and hasn't left Delaware. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer met with him in his office in Delaware. Unfortunately, Derek, he doesn't want to, but he's going to be out of there one way or another. And the sergeant at arms are going to make sure they carry his ass out there. They say it's a Secret Service, but the sergeant at arms normally take your ass out of there. That's what they normally do. But he got to go. And he's setting a bad precedent for this entire nation. Our democracy is jacked up. The country is divided. We know it's heavily divided. He poked the bear. We have a health crisis resulting in a financial crisis, a global financial crisis as that. And we have climate change. We have racial reckoning. Like, there's a lot of shit that's going on. And he's in his feelings about losing an election. The man lost. I knew he was going to be a one-term president. Or one-term resident, as I say. Because I never refer to him as a president because he doesn't act presidential. Even though Republicanism is still in Congress, but it's not respected anymore. I don't respect Republicanism anymore. I don't. I respect some conservatives that are not in the Republican Party, but as Republicanism, I don't respect that shit at all. That shit is dead. Donald Trump made that party a white national. Well, he poked their bears. It just turned into a white nationalist party around Donald Trump. It has been internally white supremacist like for like the last several, I can't say several years, probably several decades. And the timing of the protest is a problem. You don't know what Biden's going to do when he get in there. There's a lot of things. His main thing that he got to do is tackle this virus. That's the first thing he got to do. For the first 100 days, it's going to be COVID and the economy. Then it's going to be climate change, racial reckoning, then climate change. That's what it's going to be. You want only progressive people in it? Let me tell you who the people they want in there. Now I got time. If I tell you the people that they want in there, it's so fucking delusional. Like, how many people y'all want in there? Progressive cabinet picks. Because I'm just like, what the fuck is this shit? Listen, they have a Lift Every Voice plan. What you can do is go on the Biden and Harris website or type in joebiden.com and you can look at it. The Lift Every Voice plan is very extensive. I suggest everybody to read. Please read. Well, their possibilities is Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Ro Khanna, and only two black people out of the most of the white people that's in there. They put two other white people in there. So that's who's going to be in there. They that's who they want. But it's not going to happen. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Elizabeth Warren being a Secretary of Treasury, but because her senator is a Republican, it might like her governor is a Republican. Her governor might replace her with a Republican, and we need her vote. And Bernie has a Republican senator. We need them in the senator. We need them in the Senate because Mitch McConnell ass is still there. And we need them both in there. So they can't lead the Senate. Not even Amy Klobuchar can't lead the Senate. And hopefully Chris Coons stays in the Senate. You need career professionals. Like Pete Buttigieg can be in the cabinet. Julian Castro, I want in the cabinet. I would like to see Andrew Gillum in the cabinet because even though he had his issues, but he's actually very smart because you need younger people in the cabinet. I would like to see Sally Yates as the AG. Everybody was like, we want to see Doug Jones. I love Doug Jones, but I want to see Sally because Sally Yates kicked off that whole Russian investigation. She's part of the reason of her spotting Michael Flynn is the reason why the Russian investigation popped through. I'm glad she did that shit. That's what need to be in it. They talked about Merrick Garland, but Merrick Garland needs to be on the Supreme Court. Like, I hope that one of them bums like Clarence Thomas or Sam Antileo, which they're not going to retire, they need to retire. Because Merrick Garland needs to get up on that bench. He deserves to be on that bench. Oh, snap. If I still wouldn't want Bernie on there. Even though Bernie and Biden are friends. Believe it or not, their friendship is like, Joe! And Biden and Joe is like, Bernie. It's like, if you saw the thing with the two puppets, that's their friendship. Like, their friendship it's funny. I kind of like their friendship. And Sally Yates is number one. I love Sally Yates. So, I don't even have the cabinet made up in my head because, like, they didn't even get in there yet. But I know for a fact that the vice president was my choice for president. So, I'm glad she in there. So, I would like to see Pete Buttigieg as I would love to see Pete Buttigieg as the UN ambassador. I would like to see Beto O'Rourke in there as well. I would like to see some other women in some cabinet positions in there. I actually would kind of like to see Susan Rice, but the only thing is Republicans will gin up Tea Party 2.0. This is not a conservative group. And Inslee, I would like to see Inslee as the EPA director. I think he would be great for that role. He always talked about climate change. He's more policy driven than Stacey Abrams. I'm not sure. Maybe Secretary of Education will be, but I was hoping that she would run for DNC chair, or she would be in charge of a voters commission in the cabinet because Voters Rights Act is sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk. And that and there needs to be an executive order on the Voting Rights Act. It can't be by Congress anymore because long as you have these obstructionists inside the GOP, they will try to disenfranchise black and brown voters. But I would like to see Stacey Abrams in the cabinet. There's a couple black people that need to be in that cabinet. But our senators, we need to keep them out of there because our senators are high ranking and we need our senators for every vote. Cory Booker just got reelected to the Senate. He needs to be there. There's so much that Stacey Abrams can do. Literally, so much that she can do. But I'm just going to end this because I am exhausted. I am tired. And it was a good after show. That's what it's supposed to be. And I will probably see you guys. If not tomorrow, I will see you guys on Monday. Take care. Be safe. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. And have a great weekend.